Hello there everyone and welcome to another tutorial. This video is going to show you how to really speed up your workflow in Upwork by using n8n as an automation tool. So as always, to start, we're going to show you a demo of how this will work, and then we're going to get into it. So let's go and grab a job post from Upwork. So if you are an aspiring automation engineer, it's definitely good to get to know Upwork, even if you don't want to source clients from it, just because it'll give you a good sense of what the demand is for right now in the market. Help you stay up to date on things. So let's just grab. Sure, this is great. It's a good salary too. We're going to grab this job description. And one of the reasons that this is so useful is because when you're applying to jobs on Upwork, you have to apply to a lot of jobs in order to get leads. So you have to spend a lot of money on jobs in Upwork in order to get your leads. So this will just help you speed up the application process and still write good applications. So you're going to come in here and just drop in the description that we just grabbed. And then you're going to run this. OpenAI, we're going to use the 4.0 model for this, but you can use 4.0 mini. You can use any other model you want to generate the proposal for us, and it's got a prompt in there as well, which we'll show you. The workflow executed successfully. You can see it took about 10, maybe 15 seconds. And then it's going to drop it in a Google Doc. And it looks like I had another document already in there. Let's just run it one more time just so you can see it nice and pretty. So again, you can see it's running through those nodes. And it's only 4 nodes, really only 3 nodes when you count these two, but it will save a lot of time, especially when you get the formatting right. Great, there it is, ready to go. So let's jump into how you would build this. So I'm going to hop into another n8n account, which is more of just a kind of test account. And what we're going to do is just walk you through step by step. We're going to assume you've never used n8n before, and we're going to get you up to speed, and you're going to run this thing on your computer in maybe about an hour and a half, maybe, because you'll have to pause this video a couple times to slow down. And we really will. We'll go through all the steps. If we miss anything, you'll drop a comment on this video, and we'll respond, and you'll be on your way, and you'll truly be able to use this. Again, you won't understand all of it if you're just getting started, but you'll truly be able to use this, and it'll really make a difference. So the first thing you're going to do is go to n8n.io. That's your URL, n8n.io. You're going to go there. You're going to click Get Started. I'm not going to go through all this, but you need to fill these things out here. So fill that out. You can start a 14-day free trial. This is the easiest way to get started. This will get you started in truly 5 minutes on n8n. So go ahead and do that. Self-hosting is definitely the better option long term. It's cheaper, but that's more advanced. We're just going to assume you're a beginner for this. So go in and grab that or fill that out. And then once you're done, you're going to see a screen that looks something like this. You're going to come in, you're going to press create a new workflow. Wonderful. And then once you've created that new workflow, give it a name. You just call it something like Upwork automation. Great. And then what you're going to do next is you're going to hop over to our school. So go to school. You can follow this URL here. We'll also drop it in the description. You're going to press right here. It's going to say start your free trial. You get 7 free days before you get charged. So we're welcome to cancel that. And then hop over into the classroom. Click on Upwork. Come in. You'll download this file. Download. Wonderful. That'll be here if you're using Chrome. Hop back into n8n, press these three little dots. Let's import from file, automate Upwork applications. Wonderful. And there it is. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to set up your API keys and your client authentication. So we're going to start with OpenAI. So this won't work for you yet. So what you'll do is you should have an error in this. You're going to come to platform.openai.com/docs/overview. You are going to need to create a new account. I suppose it's going to look something more like this. Like this, you're going to click sign up. You're going to click through these steps, sign up with Google, or you can sign up however you want. And then if it gives you the option to upload API credits, I can't remember, they're always changing it, whether you get free API credits or not. You can try to make a call without API credits. But otherwise, let's hop back over to this. You can come in, and once you're in, if you skip over setting up those API credits, hop over into the search bar, press Control K. We're going to type in API keys. That's going to take us to our API keys. We're going to click generate or create a new key. You're going to call it something like n8n automation. You should really only have one project. Let's call it Upwork, just so we can be more specific. Create the key. That'll give you the key. You should never share your key with anyone. If this is my whole key, I will definitely delete it once I am done. You're going to copy that key. And again, you might need to add some dollars to this to make this work. If you do, you can go over to billing and then just drop in some payment details. And truly, you can add $1. It'll take you a long way, especially if you use the 4.0 mini model. It'll really take you a long way. Yeah, I think $1 using 4.0 mini will get you somewhere around like 15 to 20,000 pages of output. That's pretty good. Definitely more enough to play around and get started, more than enough. So once you grab this information in your API key and you figure out if you need to set up a billing or the free trial is enough for you, hop back into n8n, double click on this, and then we're going to click this here. You are going to click create a new credential, and then you're just going to drop in your API key here. Just like that. It should be pretty large. And then once you drop in that API key, just press save. And then you should get a connection tested successfully. You can leave this blank, and this should be fine as it is. So don't change those. Just press the X and we'll come back out. Before we do anything else, we're going to grab we're going to set up Google Docs. So where you're going to need to go to next is you're going to need to follow this URL here, console.cloud.google.com. You're going to come in, and then you're going to have a little box up here that's going to say something, get started for free or sign in. And you're going to do that, and then you're going to click on this here, and you are going to create a new project. You're going to give your project a name. Let's just call it Upwork Project. Create. Wonderful. You can see you're flying along right now. You'll be going a little slower than me because you're learning and you have to come back and watch this video. But you'll be up to speed in no time. And then just select the project once you have that option. And then the next thing we're going to do is we have to go activate the API. Type in Google Docs. Because Google has a million APIs, you have to make sure you activate it. And then click on Google Docs API, or you can choose it from this one in the dropdown. Click on Enable. That should open up a screen for us that will allow us to configure our client authentication. It'll take you a minute to upload, and then we're going to come over here and click on Credentials. And we are going to create a credential. We're going to make an OAuth client ID. We're going to configure the consent screen. We're going to get started. We'll call the app name Upwork app n8n. The user support email. You just put in your email. That's a fake user. It's going to be external for your choice. That'll be the only option you have. Likely. Again, put in your email that you just put in before. And then once you press next, you can agree and finish and press continue and then create. And then once it's done creating, we are going to create an OAuth client. The application type is going to be web application. We're going to choose web client 1. And then this is really important. Make sure you put in your authorized redirect URI. Click add URI. We're going to hop back into n8n here, and then we're going to click on this node. We're going to generate a new credential. And then this is going to be our redirect URI. So click on that. That'll copy it to the clipboard. We're going to go back into the Google Cloud, paste that, and then create. And then these are the two IDs that you need. Again, you don't want to share these with people. I will be deleting these after the video. So grab your client ID, copy it, and then come paste it. And then your client secret as well. Grab it, copy it, and paste it. And then click sign in with Google, but not yet, because there's one more thing you have to do. And this is the piece that people often forget, and they'll get an error message and they'll be very frustrated, like I was when I was figuring this out. So you can learn from my mistakes. Click on audience after this, and then add test user, and then type in that same email you've been using. And then click save. And click save, and it should take. Great. And then what we're going to do now is click sign in with Google. But if you saw when we were back in the console here and we were handling the clients, it said sometimes this takes up to 5 minutes to go through and connect. So that might be what we're waiting for. But let's try it. Maybe it happened more quickly for us. This is called an OAuth 2 window. This is good sign. Great. We're going to select all here and continue. That just gives n8n access to everything in our Google. This will close itself out in a minute. And let's press the X here to get out. You can save that if you'd like. I'm not going to. And now we are all configured. So if you ran this as is right now, it still wouldn't work because you need to create the document, but it would almost be ready to run. And you'd be running it with the job proposal that's already in here, right? This job description. But we're going to change that and configure it for you and your particular use case. So let's come into this document here. And we've got our Google Docs account linked up. We've got our document, right? We have an update doc. And then what you'll need to do is just hop into Google Drive real quick. And again, if you're not using Google, just make a Gmail for this tutorial. But you can also do this through Word and things like that. We just don't have that set up for this particular tutorial. But go hop into Drive and make a Google Doc, and then copy the URL here. You can make any Google Doc. This is mine, n8n Upwork proposal. You have the doc ID and URL there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to run this. There won't be anything in here. Actually, no, there will be this. This will be here already for you because that'll be coming from the file that we uploaded. And then we're going to come back into n8n once we've created that Google Drive document, and we're going to run this model. So one other thing that you'll need to do is just unpin this. So you can press this node here so it lights up. You can see that's when it's lit up. You can press P, or you can right click over it and press unpin. All right, so let's run this and just check and see what our output is. So we have a job description in here already. This is a real Upwork job description from before. And let's just see what output we get. So we'll click test the workflow. So there's insufficient quota for OpenAI. We mentioned that this might happen if you have the free account. So if you do have the free account at this point, you will definitely need to go in and just add at least $1 to your account. You could even add 50 cents if you wanted to, if you're really on a tight budget. But you'll need to go back into OpenAI, click on billing, and then you will need to just add some sort of payment details, a credit card or something, and that'll get you started. Truly 50 cents. You can get rid of your credit card out of there after. I know it's a hassle to put your credit card into things, especially when it's just easier not to. And it's nice when things have free trials, but you can go and do that. Having access to the OpenAI GPT models is just very helpful when you're getting started in n8n, because n8n is really configured for that. So since I do not have access to that, what I am going to do is try my OpenAI account 1 here, and let's test the workflow now. And this account, I believe, has credits on it, and it does. And the job didn't take. That is because I did not copy this correctly. You might have done that. I did not. So yours perhaps ran. Mine did not. So just grab that doc ID URL and let's run it one more time. Wonderful. And then let's go to that document and check our output here. Wonderful. Okay, so you can see it didn't quite get all the instructions, and it did mess up the order a little bit here. So you can see it put the PS. PS should obviously be below. And this is called Markdown here. That will make, that'll format the text in certain text editors. And we have asked it not to use Markdown. So let's just go in and take a look at our prompt here. You can click on this little button here. That'll make the prompt very big. So you can see here we say exclude all Markdown code. Examples of Markdown code are these, and let's just add a couple more examples. And that, and then if we run it again, and we'll also tell it to make sure the PS, make sure the PS is after the signature. Let me press the X, make sure it's all formatted correctly, and let's run it one more time for that same proposal. Let's delete this, and we should see it come in. There you go. Wonderful, then it got it right. So it still left these little marks in here, but it does take some playing around, right? These AI agents truly are autonomous. They do things that you ask them to do, and they put their own little spin on it. So you have to be very clear about your instructions. And when you're building these agents as well, that is one of the considerations you have to take in. So let's just briefly run through these nodes so you can see how it works. So to start every workflow in n8n, you need a trigger. This is a manual trigger. You can also use a schedule trigger. That will work as well, but you need to have a trigger. Otherwise, you cannot fire off the sequence. And then you need to enter a variable. This is going to be our job description. So let's just go and grab another job from Upwork. All right, seeking a marketing professional. Great. We'll grab that. We'll put another job description here. Delete that. That's our new description. So all this does is set the variable, just makes it easier for us to go and find what we're looking for. And then in our OpenAI node, we have this will all be set for you, right? Because you downloaded it. But if you didn't download it and you're following along on YouTube, set this to text, set this to message a model. And you can also come here and press the open nodes tab and then type in message, or type in OpenAI and then press enter and then type in message a model. And then you can press enter there and you can just drag that onto the screen or press enter. And that'll give you the option to message a model. And then you'll choose from the list here. The easiest way to do this is type in 4 and then O. And you can grab 4.0 mini, that'll be the cheapest. 4.0 is going to be a little more expensive, still not crazy, but just choose one of those models. And then once you do that, we'll delete this node. To delete a node, you can click on it and press delete. And generate a prompt. So if you download this from our school community, which I highly recommend to everyone because it is free, right? And just to go through those steps one more time, you just come to our community, follow this URL or grab the description in the video, click on start free trial. It's free for 7 days. That's a no-brainer. You do have to put in a credit card, but just cancel it right away. It'll let you do that. Press Classroom, Upwork, n8n JSON, grab that, come back to Upwork, these 3 bubbles, and upload that, and then you can follow on more clearly. So you'll have 2 prompts here, a system prompt and a user prompt. System prompt gives the context, user prompt gives the specifics. So this is if we click on this, you can see I've taken some time to construct this prompt. And I've included different things I want it to do, information I want it to include in a way that makes sense. And then this is markdown so that it knows, I want these under these sorts of sections. These are limitations that I have. These are other important formatting details. These are video links that I want you to include, et cetera, et cetera. And all of that will just help to enhance my proposal. Because one of the things about job proposals on Upwork, and I've submitted hundreds of proposals on Upwork because I use it to source clients, is a lot of people will create proposals using AI, but they will not personalize them properly. So this is specifically for automation proposals. So any proposal that has to do with automation, especially things that say n8n, make.com, Zapier, this proposal is going to get put in for that. And then I always do take a minute to read it. If I can personalize it a little more, I will, because personalization goes a long way when you're working on Upwork. And when you're on the client side of things, you want to see that someone has really taken the time to read your job. But you need to apply to a lot of jobs too, because there's a lot of people applying to these jobs. And if you don't apply to a lot of jobs, you're not going to get any jobs, likely. And you'll just be more discouraged than anything else. So you do have to spend a few $100s to get going on Upwork, just purely submitting to different jobs. But this is the user prompt. So you can see it's pretty in depth, and it's also going to pull in the description from the earlier node, right? The enter variables node. And so then once that is input, the AI agent's going to do its thing. And so this is where we lose control. And if you're new to AI, this is going to be very foreign to you because you're going to say, well, I'd like to have control over what the output's going to be. But you don't. You have control over how you prompt the model, and you have control over what model you use, but you do not have control over what the model actually puts out. It has some freedom in doing that, but that is also why we like the technology, because it saves us time. It really does think for us. And then we went through this node already, but all you're going to do is just make sure that this content here is properly set up here. So you can drag this. Right, so if you were coming in and doing this without our school community for some reason, it's free, so I don't know why you wouldn't do that. You could come in and type in Google Docs, just drag that, and you could click update a document because you already have a document created. You link your Google Docs account, which we did already. Document update, you drop in that doc ID URL, and then the text piece, you just grab from the node that has OpenAI and just grab this. You want the content. You just drag it in like that. This is why n8n is so great, because if you program this in Python or something, you have to make all the necessary calls. It's not the drag and drop. This is way faster. Way faster. Way faster. So that's it. That will be the job proposal that you generated. Don't worry about these ends. They will get formatted out. This is new line. Those means just new line is going to create a break for us so it looks nice, formats it correctly. And you can play around with this as well. Again, you have to drop in that doc URL. I'm going to get rid of that node because this is just an extra for those who, for whatever reason, don't want to go to the school community. And then let's just run it one more time. So we have another proposal. We cleared this out. And let's run it one more time. And you can see this is all going to happen programmatically behind the scenes. If everything goes well, this should populate in about a second, as long as nothing went wrong. Something went wrong. Let's see what went wrong. It said invalid value, starting an object on a scalar field. Yes, we cannot do that. So let's just double check and make sure everything's in there correctly. Grab this. Document, create account, JSON message. That all looks good. Generating our proposal correctly, great. All right, and let's fire it off again. Let's see what we get here. And it still doesn't like requests. Yeah. It's because we want to drop content in here. Now let's test that step. There you go. And there you go. So yeah, just make sure you don't. I must have been playing around with that because we had it working before. But just make sure that what you're taking from this node here is the content and not the message. The message won't work. You need to have the content. Drop that in. Don't worry about this notation. You'll learn it as you go. And that concludes our tutorial. So if you set this up correctly, you will have a tool. And the piece that's going to take some playing around with for you is configuring this for your specific use case. And especially if you're new to Upwork, you have to figure out, okay, what's going to work for you, what's going to work for your particular niche and what you want to do. But this is a great tool to get started. You really can make real money on Upwork. It is a great way to source clients. It is a bit expensive, but this is a great way to get started with it. And if you're willing to put down $250 to make some job applications and you have a skill that is really marketable, I highly recommend getting on. You can make some extra cash for yourself and potentially even start freelancing full time. All right, everyone, that is all we have for this tutorial today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please do all the things, like the video, subscribe to our channel, and comment. And please, if you have any questions about our channel or questions about the video, drop them in the comments below. Let us know how we can improve, and we will see you soon. Have a great day.